The West has come at us. So it's mental warfare, a war for minds. Militarily, there's nothing that can be done. The whole planet will burn. And economically, there's nothing that can be done. Why? Total corruption. If you have that device I need, I'll give you the money for it. He'll steal it from you and bring it to me. And I don't care about your sanctions. You'll line up for me and bring everything I need because everyone is corrupt. Total corruption. So what's left? Head, hit you on the head, make you get rid of the state. No need for the state. No need for the Kremlin. No need for an army. We'll live freely. What army? Tomorrow, a partial mobilization will be announced at the western borders of Russia and the situation in Ukraine. Who among you will go to the enlistment office voluntarily? That means you've been called up to the army. Who? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Well, 10. That's it. That's it. You see, they haven't done everything yet, Sergei Anatolyevich. Not everyone's brains have been completely washed yet. And no one wants to defend the motherland anymore. And I'm not blaming you for that. I'm just stating the facts. You see, there are 100 people sitting in this hall. So, do you see their goal? To strike at the head of state. This is the most terrible blow, an insult to the president, that you had a negative attitude towards the head. Second, hit the infrastructure so that everything is malfunctioning, hardly anything works. Third, to strike at the army so that it can't stand up for defense. And to make you such that the consumer, I'm not against consumerism, but the goal is to make you, the consumer, have no nationality, no Russians, no orthodoxy, and no other religions. Just a person, a living being, eat, drink if there's any, live well, disco, bar, nightclub if you have the chance. But forget the state. Forget your Russian money, gradually forget the Russian language and everything else. And it's not going to happen right away, of course. It's a long-term thing, like 30 to 40 years. But this started because no one wants a hot war. We all perish, especially because of radiation. The economy, I said, no sanctions, will only get better. And your Parmesan, well, we'll make our own best Parmesan. Your planes and ours will be even better. So this just encourages us to create something even better, like the army. Oh, you have such rockets? We'll make you hypersonic ones that you don't have. Right now, at 5 years old, we have complete security. So right now, it's a blow to the minds. That's why in the LDPR, we're moving ahead and betting on you. You can explain things to the older generation, but it's hard to re-educate them. They are not to blame. You can't go back. And you are moving forward. And we are ready to explain to you where the enemy is. Not an enemy in the literal sense, like a wolf in the woods or a bandit on the road. But I'm saying the goals are beautiful. The goals that everyone will fall for. Anything is possible. That's good. Can you imagine? There are no restrictions on behavior for a person. That's it. Go to La Manche. Go to La Manche. Where do you need to go next? Go to Naples. Where do you need to go? Go on foot, by car, hitchhiking. You don't need a passport. That's it. You don't need euros. You have a card. You have a chip. Everywhere, so to speak. Somewhere, they'll give you some supplies. At the first stage, so that a person doesn't get lost. Let's move on. So Svey Anatolyevich, make this option. The brochure urgently. It's a war of minds there. A blow to the brain. Better like this. A blow to the brain. Here, we call these meetings a brain battle. This is what we're arguing about here. And this book should be a blow to the Russian minds, to make it clear that it's a hit on us. All the others are weak. Mongolians, Icelanders, Finns, Slovaks, small nations. They don't need anything. They immediately put their hands up. The only nation that can respond and will hurt the entire NATO bloc and all of the USA. That's us. The Russians are the last nation, the liberating nation. We freed ourselves from Napoleon in the 19th century, from Hitler in the 20th, and in the 21st century, we need to liberate ourselves from this mental attack, this brain attack, specifically on Russian minds. So, you were standing there, the guy from Sokolniki. So, this Tajik girl will go, not a Russian girl, to hit you. And then she'll go, and she won't even sing in Russian at all. It's all done on purpose. On purpose. They are mocking the Russians, the culture, the language. The girls are standing to the music of Tchaikovsky and the flag of the Federation, the World Figure Skating Federation. Which one? What about the flag? What are you even talking about? It's done on purpose. All athletes use doping. It's impossible without doping. Today, sports standards are beyond human capabilities. He has to die while doing some exercises or take doping and become a winner. Here, and they came up with doping again to suffocate Russian sports. Russians won everywhere. Russian anthem, Russian flag. You see all the stadiums celebrating Russian victories. Victories. We need to get rid of this. That's a big influence. In the army, there's victory, but nowhere else is there a war. Here's Ukraine. The troops have been brought in, pulled back, and are unloading. You can't go to war. The Russians will take Kyiv. You can't shoot the pensioners and kill them, like in a zoo. And to hit in a Russian way, to mock that this Tajik girl will go on behalf of Russian women, singing about Russian women, and so on and so forth, in everything, in everything. Watch all the shows, half naked, all painted up. Who knows what they're discussing? Just to avoid making you feel joy about life in your own country. This is the most dangerous thing. There's an enemy. We've defeated them. But there's no enemy here. There is no enemy. This porn magazine. All the kids love to flip through it, to look at the pictures. Or some movie or something. What movie was everyone watching? How is she? The girl, what's her name? Emmanuelle. Oh, Emmanuelle. Yesterday we were sitting there, watching the Emmanuelle tape. You know, all that. It's that age of puberty. All kids are the same everywhere. They want to see and look at something. And they focus on that. Sure, whatever you want. Marijuana. That's it. Let's legalize it. And then they'll legalize hashish too. Fools will die like drug addicts, while the smarter ones will survive. And what's the goal of this global campaign? All together, all the diseases, all the pandemics, all the revolutions, all the theories. What's the goal? Reduce the population. Only the Russians are a problem. Maybe they should have kicked them all out a long time ago. Look at Syria. They should have shot them all a long time ago, ISIS. ISIS would have burned the entire Middle East by now. To hell with it. But the Russians stepped in and stopped it. Well, there it is. That's the problem. So you have the greatest task. There are no foreign troops. They will never invade Russian territory. Never. No one will bomb. Through cocktails, through bars, through clothing, through music, through dancing, through travel. Anything. Just get the word Russia, the Russians' history. There's no such thing as Suvorov. What Kutuzov? What Zhukov? There's nothing. The Americans were kicked into the war against Hitler. Americans, French, Dutch. So we don't exist at all. One line. Now they've removed it. America does everything. Everything. They won in Berlin, Poznan. And at that time in the East, the Russians went on the offensive. Where? When? The Battle of Moscow. Nope. Stalingrad. Nope. Zhev. Because there's nothing. One line. And the Russians went on the offensive. Then you'll write about some Russian bandits in the format of a partisan squad derailing trains somewhere. They violated the rights of the passengers traveling in the cars. Not like the heroes, the partisans. It was the rights of those who were traveling on that train that were violated. These were German soldiers heading home to recover and rest. Their dad and mom are waiting for the elderly. And here the Russian partisans are derailing trains and so on.